Hi, my name is Carl Adams. I'm the wrestling coach at Boston University. This is the third in a series of wrestling technique tapes that I have put together. This tape will cover escapes and reversals. My partner today is going to be Rick Lynch. Hi, Rick. Thanks for helping out.
Well,
This tape, to start with, we're going to talk about base position. When a wrestler gets in a down position, you want to assume your strongest base position. And a lot of the times, this will depend on each individual's own preference. A lot of the things that he will do will depend on what type of techniques he likes to shoot from the bottom position. Some wrestlers prefer to have the toes turned under. Some prefer to have the feet flat. Some prefer to sit on one ankle. Some will even turn both feet in and sit on them that way. This happens basically because certain techniques that they use, these different foot positions, will allow them to do those certain techniques. So that depends a lot on what type of technique that you're going to be shooting from the bottom position. For instance, if you're going to stand up, most wrestlers and coaches feel that if the toe is turned under, they can get a lot better stand up and a lot better start, because this allows them to push off and step up with the foot. If you're going to do a sit-out, it may be best to turn the feet flat, because now the foot will slide along the mat and allow you to come to a sitting position. One of the most important things about the base position is maintaining a good base position. No matter what you do from the bottom position, you're always thinking about getting some type of hand control. But before that happens, you have to figure that the top man is going to start to attack you with near arm chops, ankle rides, and things like that. His goal is to break you down flat to the mat. So, in order for you to maintain a strong base position, your body has to move. Okay, I'm going to have Rick come in and start to push me around a little bit. You have to move your base in order to maintain a strong position. Okay? Like such. If you try to stay in one area and Rick, say, chops down on this arm this way, he's going to chop me over my base. So it's important to learn how to move your base. Okay, another thing that you should know and be aware of when you're working from the bottom position is how to regain your base. Many times wrestlers will be broken down to the mat here. And rather than do it to get back to their base the correct way, they'll push straight up. That's the difficult way to come up if a man has his weight on top. Okay, for instance, if you hop on top here. Now you have to carry all of his weight, and it's difficult to get back to your base. So here's what you need to do if you're going to try to regain your base. First, you bring your outside knee up, and you push over that knee this way. Now, that made it a lot easier for me to come back to my base. So again, you're here in this position. What you do is bring one knee out to the side, and you push up and across to regain your base. Okay? One of the most common maneuvers for the top man to do is a half Nelson. The bottom man needs to know how to break free from the half Nelson. What we're going to do is show you how to break free when you're on your knees, and then we're going to go down on the mat. Okay. If the top man puts a half Nelson from the knee, puts a half Nelson on from the knees, the first thing you should be thinking about is looking away from the half Nelson. Oftentimes, you'll be able to look away real hard. Now, we want to put pressure down on his forearm first as we reach up and control his hands. Oftentimes, you'll be able to rip his hand off and free yourself from the half Nelson when he throws it on the knees. Okay, again, he puts the half Nelson on. The key thing is to look away. Look away from the half Nelson, put pressure down on his forearm with your upper arm. Now, reach up, grab his hand, and pull it off. Pull it down. Another thing that you can do when he throws the half Nelson on the knees is what we call a wing and roll. The first thing you want to do is to look away from it again. You have to be careful on this, because if he has a half Nelson in tight and you're facing towards the inside, he may be able to put you on your back as you start to roll. So you want to first look away from him. Now from here, we're going to chop down hard on the arm. As we do that, we're going to go to the head, and we're going to hop across. Step across. If you're broken down on the mat, and a man throws on the half Nelson, we want to use the same basic concept. First, you want to keep looking away as much as possible. From here, we're going to put pressure down with the forearm. We're going to reach up and pull it off. The key thing is to look away. Another maneuver that the bottom man needs to know how to do is to break various wrist locks. What I'm referring to is a one-on-one wrist control tie and a two-on-one. So we're going to work on that a little bit. Okay. First of all, I'm going to show you from this position a couple techniques to break a two-on-one. Okay, if a man has a two-on-one here, the best way to break this is to come under his wrist, go over top, and just lift here. Now, once you've done that, you twist away from his hands. You twist your hands out to the side. Again, if he has a two-on-one, you come under his wrist, over top, and you lever your arm up that way. As soon as you do that, you break away to the outside. If a man has a one-on-one, the same is true. You always want to take your own wrist to the outside. That will make it difficult for him to keep control of your hand or wrist, okay? Another thing that happens quite often to the bottom man is when the top man grabs the ankle or hooks the ankle with his own ankle. Okay, if the top man hooks your ankle like this, this is a difficult position to get out of if you're trying to lunge forward or just pull your leg straight out. The easiest way to get out of this position is to sit your hip to the mat and limp your leg out, like such, this way and this way. When you do it in competition, it's a quick movement. You don't pull your leg straight out this way. What you do is sit to your inside hip and scoot it out like such. Okay? Now, the next thing we're going to cover is what happens when the top man controls your far ankle, which happens quite often. The top man will grab the ankle and either try to ride you with that or use it as a breakdown. Once that happens, the first thing you need to do is think about controlling that hand. You can do one of two things right off the bat. You can reach back here, control that hand. You can pull up on the hand and kick your leg back to free it, because that puts a lot of pressure on his grip or against his grip. Or if a man has a real good grip on that ankle, what you need to do is push back into it. Put all of your weight on that ankle. Now from here you can pull up on the hand and kick your leg free, or just pull up on the hand and free your ankle from his grip. Okay? So again, from this position here, you can reach back. The first thing you want to do is reach back and control that hand. You can pull his hand up and kick your leg straight back, or you can sit back into it, okay? This way, control it. And once you get back to this position, you can pull a hand up. Once you get control of this hand, it's a good idea to keep control of this thing. Because my main objective from the bottom position, no matter what type of move that I'm shooting, is to get control of this man's hands. You're going to find that if you're rolling this man, standing up, or doing a sit-out, you're going to have to control this man's hands before you get away from him. Another basic concept that wrestlers need to be aware of when they're on the bottom position is how to get the top man to the side that they want him on. Oftentimes, the top wrestler will come out, and rather than line up on the left side, the side that you're used to having him on, he'll end up on the right side, like such. And what wrestlers need to know is how to get him to the other side. You can do that just simply by sitting out. You step up this leg here, sit through, and rotate your body to this side, and now he's on the other side. Now, if he's on this side, and you want to get him to the other side, you just sit to the other side. You step up here, you sit through, and you turn this way, and he's on the other side. That's an important concept to know if you're used to doing certain techniques from one side. the first thing you want to do is get the opposition to the side that you want him on. Okay, the first thing that we're going to cover from the bottom position, the first technique we're going to cover from the bottom position, is the inside stand-up. The stand-up is probably used more than any other technique from the bottom position to get your escape. Okay, a couple things to keep in mind if you're going to stand up on the opposition. One thing that I feel helps is if you turn your toes under as opposed to having your feet flat on the mat. Again, this is something that may differ with different wrestlers. However, I feel that I can get more speed and power by turning my toes under. Okay, on the inside stand-up, and when we say inside stand-up, that means that the opposition, the top man, is riding on this side. He's riding on my left side. And my inside stand-up leg is the side that is the leg that's to the inside. If you were on the other side, then this would be my inside stand-up leg. Okay, so on your inside stand-up, if you're going to stand up on the opposition, the first thing you need to do is get yourself in a squat position. You don't need to bend the elbows too much, but a slight bend in the elbow will help you spring as you start your stand-up. The other thing that you would like to do in this position is as you start to come up, you would like to be able to bump the top man. What you're trying to do is knock him off guard a little bit. So, as I start to pop up into a stand-up position, watch what my back does. My back curls like that. Your back is not in an inverted position. Your back is curled up towards the ceiling. This will help you create a little space and knock the top man off guard a little bit. So again, the first thing we want to do is flex slightly at the elbows. Now, from this position, we're going to spring hard and pop your back into the top man. On this particular stand-up, the next thing that we're going to concentrate on is what we do with this inside hand. Anytime you stand up, the key to getting away is to be able to control the top man's hands. So from the very beginning, everything will be geared towards getting hand control and getting myself into a position so that I can escape from the top man. Okay, from here, we spring up, we pop the back into him. Now, the inside hand comes to the inside. Okay, he'll be riding on my left side. This is to block him out as I start to stand up. Now, once we bring this hand back, and it really doesn't make too much of a difference which way you turn this hand when you bring it back, but eventually you're going to be turning it over this way so that you can come to a 2-on-1 position. So from here, what we do is pop your back into him, the inside hand comes in close to your body. The next movement would be the movement of the foot. From here, as we spring and pop back, the arm comes back, we're going to step out. If you notice, as I stepped out, I'm going to turn my foot towards the outside leg. Now, eventually, what's going to happen once I get to this position is that I'm going to pop my outside knee up. It's not necessary to move this foot at all. All I need to do from here is just rotate my knee, and you're going to be on your feet. So, once you start to spring up, we pop here, the arm comes back, and we step. It's important to get in the habit of turning your foot towards the outside knee. Now, the next thing we want to do, as soon as we get this foot out, and this is the most important thing about your stand-up. If you can get this foot up, meaning this knee is up and the foot is out, you have a good chance to get to your feet. If you get caught somewhere in between here and you get chopped back down to the mat, then it's going to be difficult. So the most important thing on your stand-up is getting the foot out here. If you can get to this position, you have a good chance to beat him on the stand-up. Okay, once we get to this position, we're going to do what we call a knee rotation. From here, just rotate your knee up, and you want to keep your body in somewhat of a squat position. Both knees are flexed. You're not bent too far over this way, and you're not leaning too far back. You don't want to give the top man a chance to pick up a leg or trip you back down to the mat. So you want to be in a good, stable position. This is similar to the position that you would be in if you assumed your basic takedown stance position. So from here, you have this hand blocked out, And what you're trying to do once you get to your feet and all the way through your stand-up is to stop the top man from locking his hands. So this stays in close to your body. On the other side would be his waist hand. What you want to do now is come across, control the waist hand. Okay, if you would come here for a second, Rich. You would control the waist hand. You're blocking this one out. You come across, you control this waist hand, and then you would like to try for a 2-on-1 situation. This is important. Anytime you're trying to break free with a stand-up, rather than go 1-on-1 or control it with just one hand here, what you want to do is go 2-on-1. Once you get to this 2-on-1 situation, we like to do this at Boston University, and this is one thing that I've used throughout my wrestling career. I like to try to pull his hand down on the side so that when he tries to resist, he's pulling against my whole leg. He's trying to lift my entire body. So, from here, we push it down to the side of your leg. Your arm should be straight at this point. If you can get it down to your side here, you can pretty much control this thing with one hand. He's pulling against your leg, and he has to lift the weight of your entire body. So from here, we pull it down to the side of the leg. Now, once you get to this position, there's a number of ways that you can finish your stand-up. But the key is to get to this position and control the 2-on-1 hand control. Here, down to the side of your leg. Okay, let's run through that again with the man on top. Okay, again, the first thing you want to do is get yourself in somewhat of a squat position. From here, you bend slightly at the elbows. Now, as we spring, we pop and spring hard. The arm comes back. Now, when you step out, the arm comes back and the knee pops up pretty much all in one motion. I'll do a slow version of it to show you what we're talking about. We're doing this here. Okay, now, once you're here, you should be concentrating on blocking this man out from trying to lock around your waist. If he starts to lock, what you do is just keep this hand here until you can come across and control this hand. Now from here, you want to take the hand, shove it down to the side of your leg. Now you're in a position so that you can start to finish your stand-up. Okay, what we're going to do now is work on different things that you can do once you get to your feet and you get this hand down on the side. Once you get to this position, as I said before, you want to try to control it on the side of your leg. The first thing we're going to do is control his hand here, and now we're going to turn in. We're going to do what we call a turn in. So from here, we control it with this one hand. Now from here, if his back foot is too close to mine, you might want to take one step forward here, just to create a little space. Now from here, here's what I like to do. I like to bring this elbow up, so that if this hand is around my waist here, trying to hold me, I'm going to bring it down and chop. Now you control it here, this comes up, you bring it down and chop. Now, this inside foot comes behind your right foot and you're facing this way. Again, on your turn in, what you want to try to do is, again, control this hand down on the side of your leg. From here, you're going to want to release with the inside hand, this comes up. If he wraps around your body, what you're trying to do is bring your elbow down hard here, and you're going to step back behind your outside leg and face him. It will look something like this. Control the hand here, boom, and turn. When you turn into him, you want to get your hands right back inside so that he can't shoot in on your legs. Another thing that you can do once you get to this position right here is just simply turn out. Once you get this hand controlled down on your leg, from here you just take a step this way and turn out that way. So you can turn in or out. If you're turning in, this comes up here, elbow comes down and facing that way. You control this hand down here. Now you control here with one hand. Now, step and turn that way. Another way to turn out on this man, actually you're turning out and going chest to chest with him. From here, you're controlling this arm here. As you turn out, this arm comes in close to your body and you flip across right to the inside. Again, from here, what you're doing is controlling this arm here again. You want to make a hard turn here. This arm comes back to the inside. In most cases, you'll end up in an underhook position. Okay. The next thing we're going to show is a step behind trip. Once you have this arm down on your side, what you can do is, if this leg is close enough, you just step behind that leg here, keep control of his wrist, and just squat. Take him straight back to his back. Once you get here, you want to put yourself into a Granby cradle position. You come down with this hand, the one that's around the leg, control his wrist, put down between your crotch, and lean towards his head. Okay, again. Your cue here is where his leg is. You have this hand down on your side. Now from here, you want to step back quick and step behind his leg. As soon as you step behind his leg, you pull this down hard, right in towards your midsection. From here, you just sit and squat, take him back towards his back. Once you get to this position, wrist control between your crotch. Something else that you can do from this position, you have this hand down here, and say this man is fighting this hand, he's fighting it back up and trying to lock. You can go right into a switch position. From here, you just control it with the inside hand this time. Now, before you get some lock, you just come here, boom, switch, and a lot of times you'll be able to end up facing the opposition. The same is true if he locks his hands. If he gets his hands locked, the first thing you should concentrate on is going to a two-on-one situation. Oftentimes, wrestlers will be trying to break a grip like this, one hand on one hand. Anytime that happens, if he gets his grip, you want to go two-on-one. Now you can push down hard and use your hips to break the grip. So it's important, if he gets his hands locked, to go two-on-one as opposed to one-on-one trying to break his grip, okay? You can also use your switch situation from here. If a man has his arms locked, you can fake one way, this is a good setup for it, and then come back and switch the other way. Oftentimes you'll end up here and be able to turn. Many times you'll end up broken free from him for your one-point escape. Okay, again, he has his hands locked, you fake him this way, and now he comes right into position so that you can hit your switch to the other side. Here, you switch real hard, come right down, and face it. You may get your one-point escape, or you may even get your 2 points reversal.